Dave Konig's Emmy. How's the whole shelter-in-place thing going for you? Pretty good, Dave Konig's other Emmy. I'm doing fine, but I'm a little concerned about Dave Konig. Why? Why do you say that? Well, I think he's starting to lose it. He's been cooped up in the house for a week, and he's been talking to himself. He's going nuts. Well, you better do something about it all. Well, why should I do so? You do something about it. Hey, don't push me around. Don't talk to me like that, fat ass. Who are you calling fat? Why you, Iona? Hey, I'm gonna kick you. Hey. Ooh, Emmy Award catfight. Who's going to stop the Emmy Award catfight between Dave Konig's first Emmy and his second Emmy? Why you, Iona? Bing. It's Dave Konig's third Emmy. Knock it off. Get back to your part of the apartment. I'm sorry, I'm going to go over here now. You too. I've had it with both of you. You're making me sick to my stomach. I'm sorry. I'm out of here. I've had it. I've had it with all of you.
Yeah.
Cooped up in the house for a week with your shelter-in-place quarantine? Or your Emmy Awards starting to talk to you with each other? Well, then you know what that means. It's time for the Dave Konig Show on Facebook Live with my co-host sitting a safe 6-foot social distance to my right, the lovely Bride of Konig, Susan Konig.
Hi, Dave.
What is that? Okay. Honey, we got a great show lined up today. We got the Not Ready for Dave Konig dancers will be here. They're going to do a big production number, and what you're going to need to do is they're each individually going to email in the dance. So you're going to have to check your spam filters. And when you get the email, there'll be a hyperlink to a PDF file, and open the PDF file, and there'll be a description of the dance. We're still working the kinks out on this, but. That should be great. And, of course, the Not Ready for Dave Konig players will be here.
Yeah.
With featuring Kevin. He's one of the Not Ready for Dave Konig players.
I thought you got fired.
I fired him last week. Here's what happened. He's getting a little uppity, this guy, and because he was like in the UCB or something, some nonsense like that, and so he thinks he's going to be the big breakout star, right? Yeah. So he comes to me, and we had this whole thing last week, and he said, "I don't need you, Dave Konig. I'm going to Hollywood to become the big breakout star." And I said, "There's not going to be any breakout stars from the Dave Konig Show on Facebook Live unless they're Dave Konig," and we had a big fight.
Yeah.
So he gets on a plane. What a schmuck! He gets on a plane and he goes to Hollywood, California.
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes to Burbank Airport. He gets off and he drives over to Hollywood, and he thinks he's gonna be a big star, and then he finds out everything's shut down.
Aww.
So he gets back on a plane, he begged me for his job back.
Good.
And I'm benevolent,
Yeah.
I'm like Arthur Godfrey. So I said, all right. I said, you can have your job back, but just watch it. So they're gonna do one of their sketches.
Okay, great.
And Kevin, that'll be great. And big celebrity guest on the show today.
Who's that?
Ed Platt Jr. Jr. He's the son of Ed Platt, the chief from Get Smart.
Well, I remember Ed Platt.
Well, I'm glad you do, because he doesn't. We spoke to him, and he said he doesn't really remember his grandfather very well. He only met him once or twice when he was a little kid. And so he's going to be on the show.
We can fill him in.
We can fill Ed Platt Jr. in on stories about his grandfather, Ed Platt.
I didn't expect a double junior.
No, that's an interesting thing. And he's not actually in show business, oddly enough. He's an alcoholism counselor in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Wow.
And he tells me he's got a unique spin on the occupation. He teaches people how to become alcoholics.
Oh.
And I asked him, I said, "Are you licensed for this?" He said, "No, not really."
Okay.
I said, "You make money at this?" He said, "It's kind of a startup." I said, "Well, how do you do this?" He said, "Well, I teach people how to be alcoholics. I give them a drink, and we just sit and drink for a while."
Huh.
I said, "Do you have an office?" He goes, we just down at the bar. Huh. So frankly, I think he's the town drunk, is what I think.
That's what it sounds
But he's going to be on the show, so that'll be great.
Yay.
These are the kind of guests we get. And here, before we get started, by the way, this is the big special Marvelous Mrs. Maisel episode. Did you know that?
Oh.
We're doing a special Marvelous Mrs. Maisel episode today. But before we get to that, I just want to say we're very proud of all our children here at the Dave Konig Show on Facebook Live.
Yes, we are.
Susan and I are proud of our son, Nicky Konig. He's at Brooklyn College. He's taking classes online. He's a filmmaker, and he's doing great. Our youngest son, Matthew Konig, started back at high school today. Virtual high school in his bedroom, online, going to classes, or at least that's what he told us. Who the hell knows what's going on in these? And we're proud of our daughter, Sarah, who's in theater administration at BAM, at Brooklyn Academy of Music, and she's working from home, and she's doing great. And our goddaughters, Flora, out in California.
Yeah, hunkering down.
Hunkering down. She's at University of Santa Barbara, and she's with family friends in Oakland, and she's doing great.
Yes.
And our other goddaughter, who we love, Isabel, who is reporting for NBC News in London.
I know.
On this whole thing. So they're all doing great. And we're also a big shout out to our son, Joey Konig.
Yeah.
This is something that happened just an hour ago. We're very proud. He's a reporter for the New York Post. And he got the big byline on the big story today. He's out there. They got him everywhere. He's reporting on everything on this. If you go on NewYorkPost.com, you'll see he's got the big byline, the big story of the governor, Cuomo, and the National Guard.
Center, yeah.
At the Javits Center, setting up the New York Army National Guard, and the New York Air National Guard medical staff, I'm sure, setting up supplies, and probably the New York State Guard augmenting and assisting, and they do a great job. I was in the New York State Guard. So at any rate, we're proud of Joey, and he's doing great, and we're proud of all our children.
Yes, we are.
You know, Susan Konig, my co-host, they say that laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're doing this show. I know we're doing a noble thing by doing this show. Laughter is the best medicine.
I think so.
Although a vaccine for the coronavirus would probably,
That would hurt.
come in handy right about now. So let's say it's a vaccine number 1, and then laughter, watching the Dave Konig Show on Facebook Live, number 2.
There you go. Yeah.
And although penicillin, like if you have gonorrhea, what you want to do is you want to get some penicillin. You don't want to cure the gonorrhea by watching the Dave Konig Show on Facebook Live. In fact, this show would probably cause gonorrhea. So what you want? No, I'm not a medical expert. I'm just saying. So essentially, we're saying a vaccine and then penicillin and then laughter.
Yeah. That's
Although,
good.
chondroitin is not bad if you have achy joints. You want to get that chondroitin.
Right. But I think chondroitin would come after laughter.
I think chondroitin is a little higher than laughter because you can't laugh away your achy joints.
Okay.
You want to get the chondroitin. So it's a vaccine, then penicillin, then chondroitin. Laughter actually, and I'm on like some kind of cholesterol thing, like Lipitor or something. So that's good stuff too. You want to get that. Mm-hmm. And if you got a headache, they're not a sponsor. I'm just saying Excedrin for migraines.
Well, it could be.
They're fantastic.
Maybe we could get a sponsor.
So laughter's not even in the top 10, frankly. Laughter's like way down on the list. But I'm just so proud of myself for providing something that's somewhere on the list below all the other medicines known to man.
That's right.
And we talk about in the crisis who's a hero. Who are our heroes today? Mm-hmm. And of course, people say, well, the National Guard and the Army Corps of Engineers, they're heroes, and our medical staff, the doctors and nurses, and heroes. They're all heroes.
First responders.
But I like to think that what I'm doing specifically is heroic every day by doing this 15-minute comedy show on Facebook Live. You know what we did is we're helping out our neighbors. Our neighbor, see, they're not delivering the newspaper to our door anymore. They're leaving it in the lobby because of the thing, the pandemic. So our neighbor next door said, "Could you get my newspaper when you go down there?" And so I'm getting the newspaper.
I got the newspaper.
We could get into a whole thing about like who actually got the newspaper. The point is, I'm a hero. Is what I'm trying to say. Now, we want to maybe we should take just a quick, before I go into the special Marvelous Mrs. Maisel episode, we want to get better at this. I'm not good at acknowledging people, so we want to thank everyone who's writing in and watching the show. Mario Muller, who's recommending the show to people. Thank you for spreading the word, by the way, about the Facebook Live show. People are spreading the word, honey.
That's right, Irma.
And you know what I say? It's better to spread the word about Dave Konig on Facebook Live than it is to spread the coronavirus,
That's
right? So if you're going to spread one of the two, choose this one.
Words to live by.
Irma Zandel,
she's been great.
always promoting the show.
Yeah.
Jack Hoffman, always promoting the show. So this is fantastic. Yes,
The Finkel brothers.
the Finkel brothers. Stu Cantor in Florida says, "You are a hero." You're right, Stu. I'm a great American hero. I'm like that kid with the blonde hair. Remember the kid with the blonde hair? He could fly. The great American hero.
Oh, that was a big show in the
Is that
summer.
William Catt?
I think so.
I'm like him. So, okay. So here's the thing. It occurs to me during this crisis, this pandemic, that people are out there, they're suffering, people are home, they're not working, things are tough right now. And we have this platform, and this is an important thing, and it just occurred to me that there might be some Americans out there right now who haven't heard the story of how I booked 2 roles on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. You know, I'm the only actor in America, in the world, to play 2 different roles as 2 different characters on 2 different episodes of the biggest TV show on TV, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Did you know that?
Pretty good. Yeah, I did know that.
So well, of course you knew. So the first season, okay. So here's the story. Maisel comes on the air. It's the first season, and people are watching it, and people keep telling me, you got to see this show. This marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's a great show, and you'd be great on it. It's right for you. And and people were telling me this all the time.
Yeah.
And I would go, I'm not gonna watch that show. This stupid show. I don't want to, because that's my reaction. That's my first reaction to everything, right? I don't think so. So finally, I watched the show. I go, oh my God, this is a great show. I got to be on this show. This is perfect for me. I belong on this show.
That's right.
So the first season, they bring me in, the Palladinos. It's Amy Sherman Palladino, the brilliant woman behind the show, who writes and produces the show, and her husband, Dan Palladino. I believe his name is Dan.
Yeah.
Bob, Ralph, Murray Palladino, something, Mr. Palladino. And so they bring me in the first season 2-3 times. They audition me for different parts. It was never anything I'm particularly right for, and I don't get any of the parts. But they keep bringing me in because, there's something about me they like, right?
I understand.
So that's the first season. Comes, goes, I'm not on the show. Now, second season is coming along, right? It's going to be out soon, it's coming along, and I'm thinking, and now it's blown up. Now it's the biggest thing in the history of show business, and now I'm obsessed. I gotta get on this show. I gotta be on the Maisel. I gotta do the Maisel. That's what we call it in show business. The Maisel. Little inside show business for you. So, Rob Clemente, thank you for promoting the show. That was very nice of you. So, I got to get on the Maisel. So, the second season comes along. Now, here comes the first episode of the second season. Is the first thing they're obviously going to shoot.
Right.
I get an audition for the first episode of the second season. And I'm excited because, boy, now that I know they really like me, and now it's the second season, they want to find a way to use me. So, I go on the audition. Now, the audition is for an off-camera voice. You wouldn't actually see me. You would just hear my voice. So it's like, I want to get it, but on the other hand, this can't be my only shot at Maisel, is to do a voice, because, people, my family will recognize me, but no one's going to care, So, but they tell me, don't worry about it. It's okay. If you get it, it's not going to preclude you from coming back and doing another part later in the season. So I said, all right. So I go, and I get it. I booked the part, right? Good news, you booked the part. We want you to play, and it's the part of an agent. It's the first episode of the second season. It's an agent, a booker, a comedy booker calling Susie, Alex Borstein, right? Emmy Award-winning. I got Emmys too, Alex. Why am I mad?
She's so nice.
She's a nice lady. So, and I'm calling her to say, we want to book your girl Maisel, and because we heard she was so great. Although on the show they actually have phones.
Yeah.
They have a budget for phones. They don't have to do this.
Yeah. It's a funny scene.
It's a funny scene. So okay, so I book it. Now they say, okay, Dave Konig, you booked the job, and we're gonna shoot in 2 weeks. So come back in 2 weeks. We're gonna shoot the show. Now in the interim, we get another call. Can Dave come in as a favor and be an actor on a table read for another episode? Now, I should explain, in show business, which is what I am, you might not recognize that from what I'm doing now, but generally I'm in show business. When a TV show, the first thing they do, they write the script, and then before they start shooting, before they start rehearsing and all that, they get the actors together, they sit down at a big table, and they have a table read. They read through the script.
Right.
And at the table read, you'll have the regular cast members who are on every episode.
Yeah.
But then for the smaller roles that they're going to shoot, they haven't even been
Right.
cast yet.
Right.
So they don't know who's going to play those roles yet. So they'll get a couple of actors in, just to read those roles at the table read. So that's what they're asking me to do. This is after I booked the off-camera voice in the first episode, but before we shot it.
Okay.
So I go in now to do the table read for like episode 3 or something. And they have me and a couple other actors. We're reading all the small roles, and there's Rachel Brosnahan at the table, and there's Alex Borstein and Tony Shalhoub and Kevin Pollak and Amy Palladino's at the front of the table because it's her show and she's it's her baby. And during the read, she's going to read the stage directions and sort of direct the whole thing. And they're all there, and then they have me and a couple other actors reading just like the smaller parts that haven't been cast yet. Now, unlike 99.9% of all table reads in show business, honey, Amy Palladino Sherman gets a big audience.
Man.
She packs them in.
Wow.
She gets a big room with like 200 people watching the table read.
Why did she do that?
Yeah, I think she wants to hear the laughs.
Okay.
You know, to figure out where the laughs are.
Got
So
it.
it's smart. It's a smart move. So she gets like the cast and the crew and the family and the friends and people off the street and shoves them into this room. So I look at the script. Now I'm there and it's exciting. You know, and I'm going to be on the show myself. You know, when we shoot the off-camera voice, and there's Rachel, and you know, and I'm looking at the script, and I got 3 parts. 2 of them are like little parts. One line of like old men. You know.
Right.
It's like old men who work at the garment business that Kevin Pollak runs, and it's
Yeah.
like, close the door, I'm tired. You know, something like
Oh, very
that. All right,
good.
so I could do that.
Good.
But, you know, obviously, even though I'm brilliant, I know they're going to cast an old man for the part, because it's television, they can do that. But the third part they have me reading, that they haven't cast yet, is the part of an MC at a comedy club. Okay?
Yeah.
He's an MC at a comedy club. Mrs. Maisel is booked to do the comedy club show, and she keeps getting bumped. So I'm I'm reading the part of the MC, and he's talking to the audience, says, "Hey, welcome to the club," blah 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 blah, and then he goes off stage and he has and he tells Mrs. Maisel, "Oh, you bumped. We're going to have another comic go on." Then he goes on stage, introduces another comic. Then he goes off stage. Now he's fighting with Alex Borstein because he keeps bumping me. So it's a big scene, and he's a comic.
Right.
He's a comic in a comedy club.
Right.
Doing crowd work with the audience, warming up the audience. So I look at this and I go, oh my God, wait a minute, I'm a comic. And I've emceed a billion shows. I know how to do, and I'm gonna show what I can do, and I'm gonna take over this thing, and I'm gonna get this part, and I'm gonna get every part, and I'm gonna get a spin-off, and I'm gonna buy a new car, and the whole thing. So, we're reading the script, right? Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, laughs, everybody's laughing, it's a great script, the audience is enjoying, Amy Palladino's very happy, she's reading the stage direction, and now the camera pans over here and does this, and then, okay, now we get up to the part, my part, the part of the MC in the club. And in the script, there's some generic MC line, like, "Hey, how's everybody doing? Are you ready for a big show?"
Right.
That's the line. But I see it. Now I'm a comic, playing a comic, talking to an audience, and I have an audience. There's people there.
Right.
So I'm going to do what I do. So I start ad-libbing.
Right.
I say, "Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?" And the audience there, and I do it in such a way, because I'm good, that the audience who's in the room, they kind of sense that I'm asking them to react. So I get a little smattering, like a little, "Hey," you know. And then I go, "You can do better than that. As the MC, I'm contractually obliged to ask the question twice. So, how's everybody doing tonight?" Right? So I'm doing shtick, right? And I'm ad-libbing. I'm going off the script. And the audience in the room is reacting to me. And it's working.
Oh boy.
And we do this scene. I ad-lib a little. Not a lot, but just enough to really show them what I can do. And then Amy, the producer, writer, director, she's reading the stage directions. She looks at me. And then she looks at the next actor who has the next line, and she says, "And now the camera pans over to Bob." And then she looks at me, "Who will read his lines exactly as written."
Ooh. Snap.
That's what I thought. I thought, oh, snap. And I swear to God, Kevin Pollak, who was sitting across the table from me, he went like this. He went like this. And Tony Shalhoub, who was sitting over there, he went like this. Ooh. So Pollak went down. He did the Dr. Fauci face plant like this, and Kevin Pollak did the ooh, what's that over there? Yeah. Ooh, little birdie over there. So it was, yeah.
Is this a 2-part story? Just because we're 18 minutes.
This is going to be a special long episode. I'm right in the middle of an anecdote. I'm not stopping now. A special long episode of the Dave Konig Show, because we got a little Maisel to go here.
Yeah.
So okay, so now I'm dead. I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man. So the whole thing ends. Nobody says a word to me. Not a word. And I look over at Amy Palladino Sherman to see if she'll acknowledge my, and she just, not a word. And I slink it. And I know I've screwed up.
Wow.
I've screwed up. Before I get to the parking lot, because this is the old Brooklyn Navy Yard, Steiner Studios, and I drove out there. Before I get to the parking lot, I'm on the phone to my manager. I think I screwed everything up. They're going to fire me. I'm not going to do the episode they booked me on. I screwed up. I did a bad thing. I don't know what I did. I don't know. I'm so stupid. And now my manager's catching my paranoia. She goes, what did you do? What did you do? I don't know what to do. What did you do? I said, I ad-libbed. You ad-libbed. Don't ad-lib with Amy Palladino Sherman. She's an Emmy Award writer. Every word she writes is golden. You ad-lib. You never ad-lib. What are you doing? So my manager says, she says, we'll call and we'll say you were off your medication and you were having a stroke of something. I said, don't call yet. We don't. So, okay, right? And so then I come home to my lovely wife, and you remember this, and I took it very calmly, right?
Yeah.
It was a pleasant, we had a little chat about it.
Right.
I don't know what I did. I screwed everything up. I'm going to get fired from Maisel. So, I didn't get fired from Maisel, and so I show up to do the off-camera voice, and this is going to be a little longer show than we normally do. I show up to do the off-camera voice, and we shoot it. Everything goes great. It was in my imagination. Big hug from Amy Palladino Sherman. Everything works out great. Okay, now it's just the voice. I want to do an on-camera role. I got to do it.
Right.
And so, the second episode of the season, third, fourth, fifth, no call, nothing. There's nothing for me. They don't call. Sixth, seventh episode, they call me in. Seventh episode, I get a call. Now, I had just booked an episode of The Blacklist. I'm playing James Spader's incompetent public defender. He loses his immunity deal.
Right.
He gets hauled into court for being the worst criminal of all time. I'm his incompetent lawyer. So I booked that, and we're about to shoot that. I got the shoot dates are about to go in. I get the call from my agent. They want to see you for Maisel. I said, oh, this is great. Oh, my gosh, Maisel, this is fantastic. And I look at the thing. I go, oh, wait a minute. The shoot dates for the Maisel are the same as the shoot dates for the Blacklist, and I'm already doing the Blacklist, which is great, but I can't. And my agent says, you know what? Just go in anyway. Go in, audition for it. It'll be another chance for them to see you. It'll be great. So I go in. So this only works if you don't book the part. So me, like a schmuck, I booked the part. So now for one day I was the most wanted actor in America. The Blacklist wants me, and I've already agreed to that, and Maisel wants me. And it was a small part on Maisel as an agent, a couple of lines, funny scene.
Right.
Funny scene in the deli, a couple of lines. So now I'm freaking out. It's like, what do I do? What do I do? I want to do a Maisel so bad, but I committed to the Blacklist thing. And my manager and the agent and the casting, everyone's calling back and forth. It's stressful. It's and ultimately the decision is mine. It's like, you've got to decide. I can't decide. I don't know what to. So we decide I got to do the Blacklist. So they call Maisel up. They call him. You booked Dave Konig. You can't have him. He says no. Dave Konig says no to Maisel. It's like, oh, God, now she's really going to hate me. She's never going to work with me. I'm an idiot. So I do the Blacklist. That was a very pleasant experience. I'll tell that story some other time. And now I'm screwed for Maisel.
Right.
And they've only got 3 episodes left
Oh, man.
for the second season. So they're shooting. They bring me in. They have me audition for something. It's like for episode 9, and then I don't get it. Someone else got the part. So that's it. There's only 1 episode left. They've already seen me. They've had it with me. It's a difficult relationship already. So then, episode 10, they bring me in. I audition. I go to the audition. I leave the audition. I go to Eisenberg's around the corner. I get a tuna fish sandwich on rye toast with lettuce and tomato and a chocolate egg cream. Because, I deserved it because I worked hard. So I got a chocolate egg cream. And I get a call from my agent. Dave, where are you? I said, I'm at Eisenberg's, around the corner from the cast. Go back to the casting door. They want to see you for another part. I said, another part? I can't take the stress. So I go back. They audition me for another part for episode 10. Another part. Then I get a call. That part you auditioned for, you didn't get that, but they want you for something else. They said you don't even have to audition. They already know who. And it's. I said, what is it? It's a hack comic telling bad jokes. I said, it's the part I was born to play. So I went in and I did it, and it was Miles Shapiro, America's favorite hack comic, in the season finale of the second season of Maisel.
That was such a great scene.
And that's how I became the only actor in America to play 2 different roles on 2 different episodes of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. How about that?
That is a 24-minute story.
I had a prompter. I had to turn to her and do, and like, give me some applause. Okay. Is that 24 minutes? I'm exhausted. This show is too long. We want to thank the Not Ready for Dave Konig players, the Dave Konig dancers.
Yes.
Ed Platt Jr. apparently is quarantined, so he couldn't make it tonight. Tune in tomorrow when you know who's our. We're going to have our first palindromic guest tomorrow.
No.
Our first palindromic guest, Junior Sample Jr. will be here. Remember Junior Sample from Hee Haw?
Yes.
This is his son, Junior Sample Jr. Same backwards or forwards.
Okay.
That's going to be great. Until then, God bless, good night, and that's it. That's all I got. Junior Sample Jr. tomorrow on the Dave Konig Show on Facebook Live with my lovely wife, Susan Konig. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Yay.